And here we go with another episode of the Sloth Doctors. I am Dr. Chip.
I'm Dr. Bob.
And today's guest, we have Becca Cesarz. I gotta make sure I said that right. So is that what you do with other girls? You Cesarz with them?
I do. That is a common joke. We have girlfriends. When guys are out being weird, we pretend we're lesbians. And now I'm actually probably going to filter that in there.
Right? Yeah, you pretend.
That's it. You can have that. Feel free to run with that.
Hell yeah.
Running with scissors.
Yeah, there you go. And so where are you playing nowadays?
I'm not really.
Oh, you're in the semi-retired phase as well, huh?
Yeah, I gave up and went back to doing construction. It's more fun yelling at guys on the job site. I get in less trouble. I'm not out drinking till 4 a.m. every night.
Oh, come on. Construction guys go out drinking until 4 a.m. That's kind of like...
No comment.
You're just on the other side of the stage now. But so, like, you don't actually do any construction, right? You're more of the administrative... yelling at people, right?
I did for a long time.
Oh, really?
My father was a drywall superintendent, so...
Oh, so you're hands-on?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Currently in my role now, I'm a superintendent, so I'm not having to actually install stuff every day.
That's why you did it before, so you don't have to do it anymore now, right?
Right, exactly. And it's much nicer. But I still can't help myself, from time to time. I was at Home Depot at 6 a.m. this morning picking up plywood so that I didn't have to do it after this today. I could go home and take a nap because I work at night.
Right.
So
And that practical experience clearly helps even in the yelling at other people because you're yelling from experience. You're not just yelling because you need it done. You're actually, this is exactly what's wrong with this right here. And I know that because I did it before.
Exactly. And even though when I don't know something and I get frustrated because I know that they're not doing it right, it doesn't always work because they find it endearing a lot of the time, which I guess I kind of can't blame them. Some dudes are into that. So
yeah, I can see how that could backfire. Yeah.
So what, are you bartending at night?
Nope, I was bartending temporarily while I was waiting to go back to work. I got laid off in September, and September till like mid-January is the worst time for construction because everybody's wrapping up projects. All the budgets are spent for the year. So I knew it was going to take a little bit of time for me to get back to work. So I was bartending at Cagney's over in Davie for a little bit.
You just said you were going to go to work tonight, though, right?
Well, I'm back at work now. I've been back since the beginning of January, and I'm working in downtown Miami. We do high-rise remodels and stuff. So
you do it later when it's not so hot, I guess.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And no traffic going down and no traffic coming home, which is very nice. Much preferred.
So you go all the way down to Miami, huh?
Every day. Yeah, all our work is primarily downtown, Brickell, Coral Gables, Blue Lagoon, which is like Doral Airport area.
So like literally, it takes a certain amount of time to get like to the edge of Miami, and then that's double to get exactly wherever the hell you want to go, right? Because it's
once you hit the Golden Glades, which is like the interchange of everything, it's a shit show beyond that.
Yep. I used to actually live in Coral Gables. Well, not live there. My dad lived there, and I would spend summers there as a kid. Right across the street from Monty's. I don't know if you know where Monty's is. It's someplace right on the water. But Coral Gables is nice. Coconut Grove, too. I used to live down there as a kid.
It's very nice. It's just there's nowhere to park. If you live down there and you can walk around, that doesn't seem to be so bad. Like my boss lives in actual Brickell, so he walks everywhere. But then you have the problem with the bridge that just I think it should be, you need to be out of the area into open ocean before 8 a.m. and you can't come back until after 8 p.m. because they open that bridge and all the lights are stopped. You can't, everything's lined up. It's a nightmare.
And not only that, the price of living and the real estate and everything down there is at least double.
Oh,
right?
It's insane. Yeah. I don't even know what it is down there. I just know that I go to get sushi and it's double the amount of Broward sushi. And it's not any better either. That's what kind of aggravates the hell out of me.
Well,
I can't remember the last time I even was in Miami, and I'm from Miami. I was born in Miami.
Whereabouts?
I was only there as a baby. Literally, when people, what city were you born in? I was born in Miami. I was out of Miami before I was a year and a half old.
It was a solid move on your parents' part.
Yeah, I feel like
Here it's only gotten worse.
And both my parents are native Floridians too.
Nice.
My dad was born in Jacksonville, and my mom was born in Pahokee.
Wow.
Which is a really small city. Yeah. There's a fun story behind that. But yeah, we're on second generation native Floridian. In fact, we were just talking earlier about, life down here before air conditioning. My mom's mom is also a native Floridian. She was born on Military Trail back when it was just a 2-lane dirt road when it was for the military, which
Right.
is why it's called Military Trail. Yeah.
I couldn't.
I got a lot of Florida roots.
I explain to me the no air conditioning thing. That like
There was
didn't
no
have
air
it
conditioning.
back
They
then.
didn't have it. I mean,
How
the
did you
ultra wealthy had it. I think
That's-
Flagler
that's
probably
it.
had it, but she didn't have it.
Well, I mean, I can remember as a kid, we didn't have AC like until I was probably like 8 or 9 years old. I lived in a room with just you open the windows and it was just hot. You had fans.
Yeah. As a
You know?
kid, we lived in a few places that didn't have AC.
But yeah, it was, I could imagine doing it other than being like a 7, 8-year-old, you're young and tough and,
Yeah.
but other than that, I don't know. I don't know how adults took it. It must have been horrible.
I'll tell you what, though. I feel like, because I'm almost 40, and I feel like when I was a kid, summers were not nearly as hot as they are now. And I don't know if that's just in my head because I'm older and
That's a
disgruntled and
great
hate the
debatable
heat.
question.
It's a little bit of both.
Yeah, probably
and a lot of
bit
it too is the more congested and built up an area gets, and the more concrete that it has, the more heat retention. As one of the points that she
Solid.
made when she was a kid was that there just wasn't. I mean, everything was built out of wood, and everything had space between it, and there was very little pavement. There was. And they also built their houses in a different way than we do now.
Yeah, everything's on top of each other now because you don't have a choice.
The house was looked at more as almost a living entity that you would open the house and let it breathe and let it air out, and things were situated so that you always had a constant flow of air from cross breeze or cross ventilation through the house, which we don't really concern ourselves with now because we have air
have AC,
conditioning.
yeah.
Exactly.
Well, that makes sense then. I guess I never thought about it like that.
The wraparound porch. I mean,
love to have
people
one.
would spend a great deal of time outside on the porch because it was much cooler out there.
Right.
Yeah.
You had
now
got
if
the
you have
open
one,
air.
meals out
now if you
there.
have one, you're only going out in the winter. You're not going to be hanging out there in the summer,
Right.
I'll sit
is
on the
the
porch at
opposite of-
home at night, but it's only because I'm having a drink and I feel weird sitting in the house by myself having a drink. So I'm like, I'll sit on the porch. It makes it a little less awkward. I don't know how the neighbors feel about it.
I think it's funny that almost a socioeconomic front and back sign is that the more poor a neighborhood is, the more people you'll see hanging out outside in front of their house. Whereas the more affluent the neighborhood is, people tend to hang out in the back of their house.
Because they have pools back there.
Right, exactly. But you think about like tenement buildings where people are sitting out on the stoop or sitting out in the front porch in the South and places like that where the houses are old and, maybe not so nice. Whereas, your nice gated community, everybody wants to be on their own in the backyard where they have privacy.
True. I would love to, since I work night, I get home 3 a.m. It's not like I can go right to sleep. So, I'll sit up, I'll have a drink, play on my phone, whatever. And sometimes the neighbors are getting up at 6 a.m. to go to work and I'm out there drinking a beer and I'm like, hey, and I feel like a terrible person about it. Although we know our neighbors, so they understand what's going
Why
on.
is she drinking a beer at 6 in the morning?
Like, I just got home. Don't judge me.
Yeah, I'm usually up playing bass at that point, so my neighbors love me.
That was a bad thing to do. There might be thank God you weren't speaking at that moment because that's the camera that's on.
It just made the boobs
Exactly.
jiggle. Oh, look, it's covered up now.
Yeah.
I apologize to everybody. The boob was out. I don't know why it was staying out, but you're welcome. I'm sorry, whichever one you choose to take.
You paid extra for that.
Right.
So I have a question.
Apologies to listeners only. They're not
right.
going to understand what we're talking about, but yes.
So I've watched where they're saying that there's a bunch of new construction houses that they're saying they're just slapping them together like shit. So if you had a choice, like if you had to go out and buy like a new house right now or an older house, what would you do?
I would move out of South Florida for one, but I would definitely go with an older house. And I don't necessarily know that it's because of that. And I'll be honest with you, like all my work is commercial and typically what I'm doing is remodeling like offices and stuff. So I don't really follow what's going on. I know there was a thing with Lennar and some of the stuff that they built somewhere down here. I just like the way the older homes were built.
Like the design.
The design, I just feel like it was a more solid build, but I really couldn't sit here and give you an actual like reason, like go into the logistics of it or anything. I I mean, a lot of these places lived through Andrew and all these other storms, and we changed all the codes and everything. So everything.
That's always been my thinking too. Like, look, if it's lived through, all the storms thus far, it's probably a pretty good design of,
right.
Everything, as long as you didn't get a tornado or something, it doesn't matter what you do. If you get like a tornado, your house is going to.
Do you think there's an argument to be made that the materials that were used then were sturdier or better?
Oh,
because
absolutely.
one can certainly argue that wood, that there was more old wood available, and that now lumber is getting, it's younger and younger lumber, which is apparently not as dense and not as strong. Interior
construction, like everything's mostly metal now, and that was a code change after Andrew. I don't know the logistics of it because I was like 5 or something when Andrew happened. I didn't have a care in the world back then. Something with that is supposed to make everything more sturdy. I don't know if it's because it has a flex to it. Because like when you build the high rises and stuff, it's made to flex. Like a lot of people don't feel it, but I've been on, the 30th floor, and all of a sudden I'm like this, and it's because it's made to move with the wind. You're going to have wind. So I don't know the logistics of why that is. All I know is what I have to do to pass my inspections, what I need for code and whatnot. But I definitely think that the way materials were back then and the way things were constructed, I feel like there was, I hate to say, more love put into it, but I just think that there was more time.
More craftsmanship even.
Yeah. And like now everything's such a rush. Everything's cookie cutter. Get it done so we can sell it, so we can move it and make a profit, so... And like I said, I don't know how much of that is true, but I do kind of feel like that's different only from experience of being on a job site with my father growing up and the way things moved back then and the way things were built in comparison to how I see guys slap things together now sometimes. And it's not all the time. It's not everybody. There's still, craftsmen and, trades that, do things the proper way. But everything's rushed, I feel.
And to your point on the video, I saw that I was talking about. They had stacks of plywood where the guy goes, "Look at this plywood; it's garbage. I have no choice but to put it on the building."
Yeah, and when I made the wood comment, I was definitely in my mind thinking more about like single family home constructions. I wasn't thinking about high rises. I can see how wood might not be. Well, no, I think that the higher you go, I think the more metal you would probably need as opposed to wood. But
those buildings are made of metal and concrete, not so much wood. But I mean, there's always the famous Dade County pine. Which is if you can get that wood anymore, it's supposedly some of the oldest homes in Florida made out of this wood that's just like it just flexes the right amount, doesn't break. And all these hurricanes have tried to blow these houses down, and they're fine.
Yeah, they're still standing. And you might get a little roof damage and, a little bit here and there, but they're still maintaining. The
biggest problem when the big hurricanes come through, like something like Andrew or something, is not necessarily that your house won't take the wind, but what's coming, what's going with the wind. I mean, you got 150 mile an hour coconuts, and sometimes there's like a whole giant tree just rolling down the street, just taking out houses as it goes. There's so many.
Weber Grill cruising along at 140 miles an hour.
Right. Yeah.
Which you should know to bring your stuff inside, but you can't do a damn thing about the coconuts. And apparently there's a statistic about the coconuts where they kill a certain amount of people every year, more than shark attacks and this and that and blah, blah, blah.
But not only that, in a hurricane, once your roof blows up, everything you brought inside is now outside.
Yeah.
Sorry. I got to say, the scaredest I ever was at a hurricane once, and I was sitting we were sitting one out way out west of town because it was a pretty bad one. And I had a girlfriend at the time. We were staying at a buddy's house. And in the middle of the night, it was just hard to sleep because the power's out. It's hot. And you're just sitting there sweating. There's nothing to do. There's no TV or radio or anything. The power's out. So we're just sitting there sweating, trying to sleep. And all of a sudden you heard this blam right on the roof, right above us. Blam. Blah, 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 blah. Like, what the hell was that? We go out the next day and it was the whole top of a probably 6-foot section top of a giant royal palm tree that just snapped off and landed on the roof. How it didn't come through the roof, I have no idea. I mean, that thing had to weigh like 800 pounds at least. I have no idea. That would have killed us if it had come through the roof. I mean, we'd have been dead.
It's scary, man. And every year, and I hate to say this because this was something that we thought about when I was younger, like not actually thinking about what a horrible way to think it is, but it would be, oh, hurricane season's coming. That means we're going to get more work because something's going to get, fucked up, whatever. And now I think about it, I'm like, well, shit, that could be me. I could be in the house because most of us down here, we don't evacuate, you know.
My experience with Murphy's Law with that. So I bought this crane business. And the guy tells me, he goes, man, next hurricane, man, you're going to clean up. I own the crane business for 6 years, something like that. How long did I have that thing? 5, 6 years, something like that. Yeah. Not a single freaking hurricane the whole time. Not that it wasn't a lucrative, good business.
I mean, there were some, but not within a reasonable driving distance for you to go.
Any damage that would have been like, oh, yeah, you get work out of this. Not once. That was a great business, though. I wish I hadn't sold that, but
I've been pretty lucky living in South Florida. I've been through many of them, but I never had any close calls as far as physical danger. It was always just the sheer nightmare of the aftermath.
Yeah,
I think the worst, 18 or 19 days without power, and at the time I lived really close to where I worked, and they also had no power. So for like 19 days, I had
nowhere to go.
I couldn't go to work. I couldn't make any money. I couldn't.
Where were you working?
Flanagan's.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, Flanagan's. That was when I was with Marianne.
Right.
So that was just sheer misery. And then after 18 days, the whole neighborhood became really predatory. And, everybody starts looking at each other's windows, and like people that were really cool now are like wondering what's in your house.
Were you here for that one?
When was that? Like 2005
I think it was 2006
or 6? Yeah.
It was like Francis and Jeannie, maybe. They were really close to each other. It was near Labor Day, I want to say.
Yeah, I was here for that. And it was the same thing. It was like two weeks or so, no power, no nothing. And,
I got so lucky, dude. After that storm.
That's when I got a cat. That Mau-Mau's gone. Got a cat out of that storm.
That's right.
Pregnant yard cat broke into my attic through my roof and had the kittens up there. And so we ended up finding homes for all the kittens and then keeping her.
We got so lucky, man. We came out after that storm and one block had power, our block. And for literally weeks, our whole block had like extension cords running across the street, a whole block, just like, all right, yeah, you guys need some power, because we were the only ones that had power. There was even a police station down the street, no power. We had power. It was like, Jesus Christ, did we get lucky on that one?
Cleaning out, we had to go clean out all the coolers and freezers at work, so that it didn't just all rot. Nothing you can do with it. So I had a little Ford Ranger pickup truck, and I had the whole back of it was full of meat and cheese and vegetables and everything. And I drove back to my neighborhood and told my neighbors, anybody want anything? And it was like that scene in Lord of War when the Africans strip that plane and take all the weapons and everything disappears. It just leaves a skeleton. It was less than 3 minutes. Everything in that truck was gone, including the few items that I thought maybe I would like to eat, but no, they were gone too.
Yeah. And then you have to cook everything because you don't know if you have much power you have.
How long it's going to last or anything.
Yeah, we were sleeping out in the backyard. It was much cooler to sleep out in the grass than to sleep in the house.
Well, the good news is, I think so far, at least this year, we've got the nice blanket of African dust, Saharan dust or whatever. Mm-hmm. So that apparently
the SAL, this something Saharan, something level. I actually just saw a video that was pretty foreboding. It was said that this was going to be a bad season.
Well, unless the dust goes away, we'll be all right as long as the dust around. It keeps the hurricanes away, or at least keeps them from getting too powerful or whatever.
It's crazy though, because I feel like every year for a long time we always had a semi-decent one, and it's been the West Coast got it. What was that, last year, the year before? Yeah, they got it bad.
Yeah, they got 2. Yeah,
but I feel like it's playing like bingo with us or something, where we're almost due, and it's going to be at any point. And every year I think about it, I'm like, oh fuck, is this going to be the one?
The one I really thought was going to get us, and this was maybe 5-6 years ago, was I think it was called Michael, and it was barreling straight west towards West Palm Beach where I lived, and then it just stopped. Over Puerto Rico or something.
No, over the Bahamas.
Bahamas, yeah. And then
for like a week.
Yeah, they got pummeled.
I really thought it was coming for us. And then
I don't know how anybody even survived. How do you even survive a week with literally like every day you're in a hurricane?
And you're on an island, and who knows how well things are built over there, Yeah,
I mean, no, literally, some of them on day one, water comes up to chest high, so they're living literally in the rafters for a week. That's just insane. And I guess a lot of people even died on that one, but that was the worst, man. I mean, having 1 or 2 days of a hurricane is bad enough, but fucking week. That thing just sat.
I don't think I've ever seen one sit and park in an area like that.
Yes, that's what I'm saying, man. That's by far what I thought was. I guess there have been worse ones, as far as death toll and damage or whatever. But that's the worst one I've ever. I remember that going like, holy shit, those poor people.
Right, because when one comes through, the stress of it, but usually it's pretty fast. It's like one night that you're laying there freaked out about
and
it.
That's it.
The trauma of living, like you said, of just being that stressed out about it for a week.
And then thinking to yourself, when the fuck is this going to end?
Yeah, and it's a whole week of that bullshit. That's gotta be
like what the fuck is this ever going to stop? At what point do you go, I just fucking give up?
Right. Think about before satellite imagery and before people really knew what a storm looks like, or think how many people used to die in the old days of walking out in the eye thinking it's over. Oh, it's over.
Surprise,
nope, it's halfway
bitch.
over. Exactly. Here comes the other side, which is usually the worst side, the backside.
Oh yeah, that's wild. I mean, everybody loves it here. Yeah, you did. Everybody loves it here so much, but then you got to take that into account of, we can sink at any point. We can get electrocuted at any point. Lightning strikes.
Well, lightning strike capital of the world.
Yep.
That's true. Oh,
Tampa's got it worse, apparently. They're the worst part of the state, I guess, Tampa area in comparison to us, I think. But
for lightning?
I think so, yeah.
I almost got hit by lightning once.
Oh, I was sitting on the porch drinking yesterday morning, 7 a.m. And there was a really bad lightning storm. And finally, I swear to God, it was in the front yard. And I was like, well, time to go in.
Right. But didn't they just had a hurricane that came the other way, like from the Pacific coming west across Mexico, which is unprecedented. They don't usually come that way.
Don't they usually? I mean, it's the same thing, but don't they call those cyclones instead of hurricanes?
I don't think so. I think they have to be in like the east in the
right. And no, I think that's typhoon.
You may be right, but I think for some reason they were still calling it a hurricane, but they may have just dumbed it down for us.
There's some sort of stipulation there, and
it's a big circular storm with a really low pressure in the middle with high winds and rain,
and someone's getting fucked up. So
exactly.
Well, I mean, maybe they were calling it a hurricane because it's never really happened like that before. We developed over there and has been coming this way. I mean, I guess it developed out in the Pacific. It had to have. So I guess maybe it is a typhoon or whatever, cyclone, typhoon, whatever. Yeah.
No good either way. No matter what you want to call it, it's hope for the best. Pray it doesn't knock your house down. Everybody's safe.
Wet, windy event.
Yeah. And none of that 5-day long shit. No, thank you. Like, I'm down for a good solid week of rain, but that kind of rain.
Yeah, I like what it's been doing lately where it just rains at night. That's kind of nice,
Once you're already in bed, helps you fall asleep.
Yeah,
you said it woke you up.
This morning, it rained so hard it woke me up,
I have had it rain so hard, literally just a couple of weeks ago, woke me up out of a sound sleep in the middle of the night. It was like, what the fuck? It's raining like crazy.
Right. And it wasn't just the sound of rain. It was a good thunder. One of those bolts. I was like, what the hell was that? Oh, that's right. I'm in Lantana. Forgot.
That was another thing, too, when I was younger. I swear to God, during the summer, every afternoon at like 4:30 on the dot, you had a lightning and thunderstorm that lasted for at least an hour. And it was like aggressive, like the power went out. I mean, I'm sure the way that they do the power lines and everything now is better. A lot of stuff's underground, whereas before, everything was up above and trees were falling and all that shit. We have different protocol now. But I just
seem a little more reliable back in the day with the afternoon showers. But you still get them, but they're just not quite as reliable.
Yeah, just not as frequent. And I just feel like they're not as intense. And
let's admit it. We're probably usually sleeping at that time anyway, right?
That's true. I'm taking my afternoon nap before I have to go into work. That's true.
I kid with him. I have a morning nap now. I have an afternoon nap.
I am such a napper.
At like 5 o'clock in the morning.
That's true. Sometimes,
4:30, 5 o'clock.
Sometimes even,
First nap for him is like 9 a.m.
That's true. It's true. I fall back to sleep, sit on the couch.
Take a little siesta.
I love it, man. I'm a terrible sleeper. I have been my entire life, and it doesn't matter. Like, I played sports my whole life, like in school sports, after school sports, but I still was a terrible night sleeper. But my best sleep today is like 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. And unfortunately, when I'm not doing night work, that's when I'm supposed to be at work. And I'm literally walking around trying to keep myself busy so I don't fall asleep because I just want to take a freaking nap.
It seemed like it was a certain age that I hit. That's just like after that, I couldn't get more than like 5-6 hours of sleep in a row. And I just get up. I just can't do more than that, It's like, all right, I've been 5-6 hours. I'm fully rested. I can't just lay here, and do nothing. I might as well get up and,
I currently live in Gainesville, and if you want to get anything done, it really behooves you to get the hell up early. That town is quite livable and drivable before 10:30, 11 o'clock a.m.
Is that because all the college kids are still sleeping?
They can't get up that early.
Yeah, I couldn't when I was that age.
The ones that are up that early are already at school. They're like productive. And
that's why I quit college. My second semester of college, I had some fucking insane calculus class at like 7 a.m. I was like, fuck this.
Why would you choose an early class like that?
And
it was I had to take it. It was the only one. I had to take the class, and it was the only one available. I was like, that's what I had. Fuck this shit.
Yeah, by 2 p.m, it's a complete and utter zoo. School's in session. They're everywhere.
Well, that's the same thing, even over here in Davie, because of Nova and BCC and everything. If you're like, I try not to do any kind of shopping on the weekend just because it's insane. But if I do, even during the week, if I can, I try to go to Walmart, Publix, first thing in the morning, because you get all the older folks and they're nice. They're not going to ram you with their cart. They're trying to pay attention to what they're doing and be considerate. But then if you go after lunchtime to any of those places, you got the college kids that are on their phone and, their cart's halfway across the aisle. And I'm like, I will fight all of you right now.
It's like kids don't understand cars or something. I just saw a clip with it was a young couple and the guy's driving down the highway and the chick got mad at him and like just intentionally crashed his car into the side of the highway. Like, what the hell is wrong with you fucking idiots? I mean, you're lucky you survived, let alone the amount of damage you just did to the guy's car. It's like, they're just, I don't know.
Yeah, wait till you get home and punch him in the mouth. Be smart.
Exactly.
Don't kill both of you. You're going to fuck somebody else up too.
Don't fuck with the driver. Isn't that pretty much an unwritten rule?
Truthfully, even just punch him in the mouth instead of taking the wheel and crashing the car. Just punch him in the mouth. Maybe he'll crash, but at least you got a chance of,
Yeah, and then you can blame it on the crash. Be like, I don't know what happened to his face. It was the steering wheel.
What the hell is this chick thinking? I don't know. And then there's, I think I saw some chick, I'm sure you've seen the videos of like chicks do stupid shit like, pour the oil or gas right on the, in the hood, right over everything. Like, you ever seen those?
Oh, God.
Some chick with a hot car and that has no clue, like at a gas station, like, well, where does the oil go? And just kind of pours it over the engine or something like that. And like, no, that's not how it works,
and
honey.
You want to think that it's like a stage thing for like views and likes and stuff, but man.
Some of them probably are.
Yeah,
but
I'm sure some of them are.
Sadly, some of them aren't.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not going out and changing my own oil. I got a diesel and I have my dad's truck when he passed away, and God, that thing's a fucking nightmare. What a money pit. My mother calls it the $1 million truck, along with my dad's $1 million boat that we finally sold. But
boats are, the acronym.
Break out another 1,000.
Yeah, boats are always fun.
But I don't do any of that stuff. When I had my gas truck, my boyfriend Renee, he would, change the oil and stuff for me. But for the most part,
not to pour the oil over the engine like salad.
No, and I know I at least know, which dipstick goes to what and everything. And it's because I asked at one point and wanted to know for my own sanity. But I'm not just pouring shit in random places.
Now, do you remember? I want to say it was during like a hurricane or something where people going nuts about gas. But do you ever see the thing with the chick trying to like fill up plastic bags full of gas?
Oh, I feel like that happens every time.
Yes. And then taking them and trying to put them in the trunk of her car. I'm like, that's
how gas works.
That's exactly.
The gas.
Someone told her that's how it works.
The gas is in the car. Go put gas in the car.
No,
she absorbs it.
I did. I asked me to put gas in the car. I put gas in the car.
The woman fully expected to be using the gas later.
So you think?
Yeah, who knows? Yeah, who knows what they're thinking? But yeah, I was just like, even watching her just putting it in one like a Publix bag.
The videos that I really hope to God are staged, and again, some probably are, but sadly some aren't. Is when you see videos of some guy with a microphone just interviewing people on the street, and it's almost always near a university or college age kids at least, and asking them the most basic questions that they simply cannot answer. Like.
I'm probably bad about that too, though. There's so much stuff that I absorbed in school and did so well in school, and now
these are like,
gone.
What country is south of the United States? These are like really simple, Well, here, how many countries are in North America? Questions.
I have advice for you if you ever find yourself in that situation. No matter what the question, just say, "I just hocked Tua on that bitch."
Right?
Hey, it worked for her.
Exactly.
And then do not create a Bitcoin.
Hey, why not? Well, actually, it worked for somebody.
That was her downfall. Yeah. Didn't work for her.
The shit coin, yeah.
If it wouldn't have been that, the downfall would have been something else. She would have had to
that's
show
true.
her butthole or something after that. You can only go so far with the Hawk comments.
that's
True. Her 15 minutes was clearly going to be over pretty soon because she had really not much else to offer.
Oh, not for nothing. She was a cute girl, and I thought that was funny. And then
it was a great answer to the, it took off in a way she couldn't have predicted, but what she said was clever and appropriate. And
Right.
It's a great answer to the question.
But
Clever and inappropriate.
that's why it worked so well, I think.
Yeah.
Slightly inappropriate.
It appealed to the audience it was meant to go to, I suppose. So
It worked.
Yeah.
But I don't think that was staged. I'm going to say that one was probably a.
I think that was
Yeah.
random. I think that really happened.
No, I think there are guys that do that. Just, that would be actually kind of a cool thing for us to do maybe sometimes, do a man on the street segment where, but I mean, down here, it's freaking 100 degrees out. Who the hell's going to be out walking around,
Yeah,
so.
exactly.
You would have to do it at night, and just like you could stand outside of Funky Biscuit and ask random music questions to musicians, like
Yeah, depending
off the cuff
to be in
stuff.
the right area to do that, because otherwise you're only going to get one of two groups: people that are in a hurry to get out of the damn heat, or some homeless lunatic that has nothing better to do than to stand there and answer all your questions.
I think that's who we're looking for, though.
Yeah, there's an argument to be made for that.
People love crazy, man.
They do. They just had some guy on, God, whose podcast was it? It was some famous comedian, but this guy's basically like, so you just rode the bus here, right? And they were like just giving this guy a load of crap because he's just some guy that's like a homeless guy that lives on the street. I want to say it was maybe Stanhope.
I haven't seen any of his recent ones, so I can't confirm or deny.
I don't know if it was him, though. I think it was somebody else.
I don't even know who that is.
Doug Stanhope? Oh, you'd love Doug Stanhope. You would love him.
I'm currently into the Kill Tony stuff and everything.
Yeah, that's good.
We're going to see Adam Ray next month.
Yeah. Adam Ray's pretty good.
Where are we going? Improv in Dania, and then
Is that the guy who does the Dr. Phil impression?
Yes.
Yeah. And that's one of his best ones because he does this one character called Jeremy, which I don't know why they keep putting out more stuff about it because it's like, it's not
I don't know if I've seen the Jeremy one. I've really only seen the Dr. Phil stuff.
He came out on the Kill Tony. So as this character, but it was just like not your best character, dude. He's kind of like this weird. I don't know. It's hard to describe.
Certainly, the doctor. I mean, it helps if you're doing an impression of an actual celebrity or a person, as opposed to just creating a character named Jeremy.
He does. Yeah. Well, he does this one female character. Have you seen that?
I don't think so.
Oh my God, what's her name? I forget what the hell it is. He does this. He did it on Kill Tony, and he's hilarious as this chick. Oh,
I'll definitely have to
like
look
Ellen
into
or
that.
something like that.
His voice up and.
Well, he kind of plays this like older, like 50-year-old chick, and like, okay, honey, you gonna fuck my tits now or what? It's fucking hilarious.
Because I've always thought that the one male comedian that nails that better than anybody I've ever seen is that fluffy guy, the Gabriel Iglesias. When he does his customer service woman voice impression, like he really does sound like an irritating woman.
That's not hard to do.
I wish I could remember the name of that character. He's right on the tip of my tongue too. But yeah, that's hilarious. Have you seen the latest? Have you heard the guy Timmy No Breaks? Mm-mm. He was actually on either the last one or the last one before on Kill Tony. But he's this kind of like he's a Dice Clay kind of wannabe. But he's actually pretty damn funny.
I haven't seen any of the recent ones, and I know that he came out with like a Netflix special, and I haven't watched that yet either.
I don't have Netflix.
I don't know. I don't know if there's still. My understanding is there's a couple episodes of it on Netflix, but I don't know if
I think it was just one. I think it was just one that I know of, but I don't know. But and the question I wanted to ask you is: you say you're going to see some of these shows. Where are you going?
We're doing the Improv in Dania to see Adam Ray. He's doing 2 shows there.
Are there any comedy clubs up here?
I know there's a Palm Beach Improv.
No, there's not.
There's not?
Nope,
Is that the one in City Place? Is it gone?
Yeah, that's gone.
Okay.
I'm not sure then.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a hike for me because, I'm 40 minutes from here. I'm like South Broward.
Yeah, you're like Hollywood, right?
Yeah. So I don't really.
I think
Is that where we saw Stanhope in 2021, the Palm Beach Improv?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, but that's no longer.
Yeah,
there.
that's gone. What was I just going to say? I think they have comedy at like the Boca Black Box and places like that.
Yeah, probably
maybe.
Boca Black
But
Box.
there's not really a lot of like comedy clubs around.
You would think that that would be something that would be marketable up here, though, just because there's so much
Apparently not, if they
entertainment
want it.
up here. There's got to be something, because I know there is more than one improv, but I don't know where the other ones are. We actually went last year, the year before, we went up to Tampa, well, Ybor, whatever, to an improv up there to see, what was his name? He's so funny. I love him. Damn it, I can't remember his name. He's so good. And then we literally were still there at the show, and we bought tickets back down here. And then we had all our friends come, and they loved him. God, I can see his face, and I don't know why I can't remember his name, but he's amazing.
I don't know what happened to the West Palm Improv other than the fact that I think they tore down that building. So they basically just kicked everybody out. But you think they would have just moved because they seemed like they were making money. It seemed like it was pretty busy. Maybe not towards the end there. Maybe COVID killed it or something. Who knows?
Well, before it was in City Place, it was where the Carefree Theater. There was a comedy club there, the Comedy Corner or something it was called.
Yep.
Well, what do you guys have up here for like big shows, like concerts and stuff? Like, because I know that you have the amphitheater, which is outside, so I try to avoid that motherfucker.
There's there's like Meyer Amphitheater. There's Abacoa. There's the place right here. What's the one here?
Meisner.
Meisner. That's a pretty big amphitheater kind of thing.
Yeah, because like we saw Tom Segura at Hard Rock. God, it's the money that man gets for tickets is insane. I do love him very much, though. More than Bert Kreischer. Bert Kreischer, I'm like...
I agree with you.
Well, Bert Kreischer's a one-trick pony. It is his thing.
Yeah, he had his I'm the Machine or whatever the heck it was, and the first couple shows were funny.
The amount of milking of that one story he got. Yeah. I mean, he's got his whole career going, and a movie from the one story.
Did you see the movie?
No.
I didn't either.
No.
I just feel like it's going to make me sad because I'm going to hate him more. And I don't want to hate him more because him and Tom have that Two Bears, One Cave thing, which I don't ever watch the actual podcast, but, I see snippets of it on Facebook and I don't.
Every now and again, Bert won't be on it, and then it's pretty good.
Well, I'll have to look into
somebody
those
else.
episodes.
Yeah, you just check him out. He's not always there.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes, I feel like with him, he doesn't let anybody talk ever. And then he's got some other show too, where they're like at his house maybe or something. And it's just him. that's how I found Tom Segura, was through him. So it makes me really sad that I'm like, fuck this guy. I don't want to watch your shit anymore.
Yeah, I was the opposite. I already knew of Segura, and then all of a sudden I'm like, who's this Bert Kreischer? And I never thought he was.
Have you seen the clip of Segura breaking his arm?
Oh my God. That was the basketball thing. Oh my freaking God. Ugh.
That's rough, man.
Yeah.
Oof. Right?
And the stories he tells about it,
Oh yeah, he's definitely cashing in. I would too. I gotta get something out of it. That had to really hurt.
But how embarrassing as a white man trying to play basketball.
That was. I mean, he did just basically fold up like a lawn chair.
Poor thing.
The sound of the impact too. Yeah.
Oh God. And then, with him in the hospital, he was in the hospital for like 2 weeks or something. He was in there for a while.
Yeah. Well, he fucked himself up really bad, didn't he? Like blew out his knee and broke his arm in like a couple of different places, really bad. And
right. I mean, it's like the second worst thing that's ever happened to him after the Invisalign.
What was the Invisalign?
You never heard of his little recurring joke about that? Or
no.
On his Your Mom's House podcast that he does with his wife, Christina P. Like
I've never heard the Invisalign thing.
Yeah, me either.
She basically had to leave the show for a while because she had breast cancer, and she talks about it on the show and everything. And he, every time she brings it up, he talks about how he suffered during that same period of time with a problem with his Invisalign adjustment, and he blows it out of proportion to make it sound like the worst thing ever. So I was just referencing that clearly in his mind, the worst thing physically that's ever happened to him has been the Invisalign, much worse than the arm.
I guess now that you're saying that, I do remember a mention of it, but I didn't know what the reference was to it. So now I'm going to dig into that a little bit just so because obviously I knew about the breast cancer and everything, which, I guess, you boys, you get a cold and you're dying and you're not going to make it and everything. And, boys, we're here. We keep you safe and we keep you good, because without us, I don't know what would happen.
And that's obviously terrifying and life-threatening and everything, but my teeth hurt. You know what I mean? Like I can see how that would override anything.
Anything.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, though, I had a fucking wisdom tooth pulled last year. I have never been so fucked up in my entire life. Like I had to go to the hospital 2 days after. They gave me like 5 10 milligram Percocets, which let's be honest, what's that going to do? I may as well just eating 2 Tylenols. Didn't tell me anything else I should be doing or taking. Like I should be taking an anti-inflammatory every 2 hours. Ended up in the ER, had an infection. And at the time, the guy that I was working for is absolutely losing his shit. Like my face was this freaking big. And he's like, well, when are you coming back to work? I'm like, motherfucker, I might die. Like, I think I'm going to die. All my teeth are going to fall out. My jaw's going to fall off. I'm not going to be able to talk anymore. I'm going to be ugly. Like no one wants to talk to a person without a bottom jaw. Like what the fuck? And you want to know when I'm coming back to work?
Right.
I once called in sick to a restaurant and told him I was throwing up, and he actually said to me, "What, like chunks, like solids, like he wanted." You know
Like
who
it
that
makes
was?
a difference.
Sylvester.
Oh, it figures.
It was Joe Sylvester that did that to me.
That
Yeah.
guy was a piece of work, man. Holy crap.
Like, you want me to bring it to you?
Yeah. Do I need to send you like a care package?
Yeah.
Will Uber Eats it over to you? Oh, gross. If I'm throwing up, it's for a reason. Now, whether or not that reason is because I'm hungover or because I'm actually sick, that's not your business. All you need to know is I'm throwing up.
Yeah.
And unless you want me to do it on the floor of the restaurant in the middle of the lunch rush, I'm not coming in.
No, he wanted to know the character and the content of it, of the vomitus, so to speak. No.
Boo to Sylvester.
Yeah, he was an insane person to work for. I think I got fired from that place twice and quit once. They kept hiring me back. It was just a weird, bizarre scenario.
Oh God, the restaurant industry is
Until the
crazy.
final time they let me go, and I went back to get my last whatever remained of a check. You know,
Yeah.
I made sure to go in during a brunch when he'd be way too busy
So you didn't
do
have to
anything,
interact.
Right? So I walked right up to the hostess stand, and there's like 6 or 8 old blue hairs there. They're all sitting waiting for a table. And I'm like, hey, Joe, good to see you. I just wanted to see if I get my check. And I can see the steam rising up under his collar. He wanted to curse me out. He couldn't do anything in front of these people.
He would get bright red.
Oh, yeah.
That guy was an asshole.
But then sometimes he would go in the bathroom and come out and be really happy and talkative for a little while. You know, I have no
Clearly, he
explanation
needed
for it.
more of that, whatever that was.
He was like stopped up or something, and maybe he has constipation issues.
Maybe.
Maybe. I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah, the restaurant industry is insane. I don't miss
Cocaine's a hell of a
that.
drug.
My first job was working at Hooters at Beach Place. I was a hostess because I was too young to serve alcohol. And back then I was like, that's so much fun. And then, you know, when I was
So what year do you think that was?
that was 03, 04, 03, 04.
Dude, I was playing Lulu's then. I
I was drinking in Lulu's.
I
They
was
were letting back then, and Cafe Iguana was still there on the 3rd floor back then.
We played Lulu's, and then the place across the
The Irish place or the piano? There was a piano bar
it was
there
like a
too.
piano. Well, it was before it was a piano bar. It was a fucking I can't remember the name of it. But anyway, we used to go right across the hall for the next day. We'd play Wednesdays at Lulu's and Thursdays at I forget what it's called.
At that other place.
Yeah, that other place. Anyway. But yeah, that was back when that place, that whole freaking little, what do you call it, shopping plaza thing was popping back then, man. It was busy.
And now it's considered a public nuisance. Like every year, spring break, I actually
It was
didn't
kind
hear
of a public
anything.
nuisance back then too, truthfully.
Yeah, but you know, I feel like it's so much worse like spring break because you get all the out of towners and they make such a problem because, you know, definitely South Beach and everything, they put a hard stop to that this year. I mean, you know, shit's still going to happen regardless. But they had cops everywhere. It's like you couldn't even have fun. I don't even know if you can walk down there with like an open container or anything because we're pretty lackadaisical with the drinking down here in comparison to other places, I assume.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I've lived here my whole life, so I don't know what it's like anywhere else.
Well, it's kind of come and gone. Like they'll get strict for a little while and say, okay, we're going to let you just walk around with a drink. Like Lake Worth, they did that for a while. They said, okay, you can't just walk from place to place, you know, with a beer or open drink or anything like that for a while. And then now it's like, okay, then now you can kind of do it. Oh, same thing with Johnny Brown's. Johnny Brown's used to be able to stand right outside.
Yeah, now you can't walk outside with a drink.
Well, then they made it, you couldn't, then you could, now you can again. And it's like, hey, come on, make up your minds.
I think they're just waiting for something stupid to happen again and then to appease the city to stop more problems. So
That place
I get
is
that.
too busy to not allow that. You have to get out of there sometimes just to get some air.
Yeah.
You know?
Even with it all open and everything,
Yeah.
it's freaking packed.
And the part that just makes no sense to me is they took all the garbage cans away. Like literally, if you're standing out there with an empty bottle, you're looking around like, God, there used to be like a couple of garbage cans around, at least within eyesight or somewhere. There's not a garbage can with that in sight anywhere.
That's how they get you. Because now you don't have anywhere to put it, so they're going to catch you walking around.
Reach across the thing and put it on somebody's table. Like, here, have an empty beer bottle on me.
I'll tell you what, though, that's one of my favorite places of all time that we would play. The crowd was always so much fun.
Built-in crowd. Always,
Built-in crowd, no matter what. I mean, I feel like even if it was iffy weather, you still had the crowd inside because their food was good. You know, you always had a crowd there, and then people would be walking by and they would stop. And you've got a ton of options down there. I love Delray, man. I wish I could live in Delray. I absolutely love it there. Yeah, right.
No, we all.
I'm not in that tax bracket.
Yeah, no, that's a cute place. I was just telling our last guest from yesterday. My dad's got an old buddy of his, an old fireman that lives in Delray, and he probably bought his house for like 80 grand, maybe 150 grand at the most, like back in the 70s or 80s. And it's like close to downtown Delray. It's probably worth $3 million now.
Oh, no doubt.
$2-3 million easy. And it's just a plain Jane 3.2, you know, with a carport, you know, nothing special, but just where it is. It's like, oh my God.
And I just feel like the people up there are nicer too. And I don't know how to explain it. Like, it's really weird because of all the places that I've played, like mostly my stuff was always biker bar shit, which, you know, is my crowd because I can say fuck and, you know, be a weirdo and whatever. But there's always something about any place that we played in Delray. Everybody was always so damn nice. I can't remember ever once having like a fight breakout or any kind of like issues.
They're all rich. They don't have,
they don't have reasons to be mad, I guess.
Nothing to worry about. Yeah, why would they? And you know, the funny thing is...
Plus, they don't want to get sued.
Yeah.
True.
And it's like, you know, it's like...
they got something to lose.
Exactly.
Like we're right now in Boca, which is the heart of the old people rich place. But Delray seems to be where the younger, like their kids and grandkids seem to go hang out and party. And Delray has been the center of the universe for quite a while, as far as I'm concerned. You could say like South Beach, but nah, I'm telling you, Delray.
You couldn't pay me to party in Miami. We went down there once for like the opening of NASCAR. They were doing some sort of free concert on South Beach for Blake Shelton.
Oh, right.
And that was cool because, you know, I mean, we were like in our early 20s, maybe.
Right.
So that was still kind of like, oh, we're going to South Beach. Like that was the first time I'd ever been down there, aside from like driving down there during the day for work with my dad or something after school, some bullshit. So that was cool. And then I realized, like, absolutely the fuck not. It's really expensive down here. Everybody acts like a bunch of lunatics. Like, people got guns. I mean, all the time I'm hanging out in biker bars, people got guns. But, you know, it's just, I just freaking Delray, man. That's the spot to hang out.
And, you know, tell you the truth, I've almost sworn off doing anything with, like, that big of a crowd anymore, you know, unless I'm going to be on stage. You know, otherwise, if I'm not on stage and there's going to be, like, a million freaking people there, I'll stay home.
True.
I'll watch the highlights on Sports Center.
Well, and it's like even, you know, going to like concerts and stuff. Like there's certain concerts that I want to go to, but one, it's crazy expensive. I'm going to pay $20 for a single Jack and Coke that I'm going to suck. I might as well get two at a time. Right, and then I'm not going to want to go back. And people are just rude and they're near me, and breathing my air.
Are they still doing those like all day concert festival type things like Lollapalooza, you know, Ozfesty kind of thing? They do them. Because those things are like a freaking marathon, you know.
We don't have any
3 different
here.
stages.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the last, and I could be wrong because I'm not up on the concert scene currently, but I think the last ones that they were doing down here was like Rockfest, and it was in Fort Myers, and they moved it. I don't know where they moved it. They moved it somewhere else, maybe Daytona.
Just did it in Orlando.
Yeah, somewhere further north.
Yeah,
my cousin
I can only think
of
like Ozfest. I remember going to the Horde Festival back in. I can't remember
she's
the
right.
year
there
it was,
is. There's
Lenny
a Rock
Kravitz
Fest
was there, and they had
it's called.
I remember Lenny Kravitz was supposed to open it, and I guess they had some sort of technical problem, and it took a long time. Like it was starting to get dark and everything, and people were getting really frustrated. And then all of a sudden, everything just one blast, and the light behind him, and he's whipping his dreadlocks around like snakes, and everybody just went completely apeshit. It was a good show once it finally started.
That would be great. Like I
think it's so open with "Are you going to go my way?"
As it should, because that sucks them all in. Because everybody's going to know that song always.
Yep. Yeah, sure.
You got to do your crowd pleasers. Same. Yeah. I always liked singing that too. You know, you got to do your crowd pleasers. Just like, you know, I always laugh because you see all these different bands in the bars and stuff. Not that I go to Cagney's and that's pretty much the extent. You know, Fossey's isn't there anymore. You know, I'll go to Walsh's, but Walsh's doesn't really do bands. Jimmy Pyro's there like once a month. But you know, most of the bands all do kind of the same songs, which is the same shit that all of us have been doing forever. It's all classic rock because that's what sells. Because we're the last of the Mohicans. The younger kids aren't really going to regular bars anymore. And don't get me wrong, I love Taylor Swift. I cannot tell a lie. I do love Taylor Swift, but what fucking band? How the fuck are you going to play Taylor Swift in like a rock bar? We don't really have any country bars. I know there's a country bar in Palm Beach somewhere. I can't remember what it's called, but I don't even know that they have bands. You know, so it's just it's
that
weird.
place on right off of Palm Beach Lakes. What the hell is that called?
Not Rendezvous, Renegades.
Yes.
Renegades.
Yep.
That's it.
And that was the place that you would go after you went to whatever the amphitheater is up there. If you went to like a country concert or whatever.
Occasionally have music
Jehovah
there,
Dome.
but not very much.
Yeah. But that's the thing. Like I saw Rob Zombie last year or the year before because I've always loved him, and we got like super cheap tickets off of Groupon, and we were supposed to sit in the grass.
Where was he playing?
He was at the amphitheater up in Palm Beach.
Was he by himself?
It was him, Alice Cooper, and
that's right.
my
I
God,
remember
it was fucking. Oh, it was amazing.
Yeah, that's almost as much theater as music
It
between
was
the two of them.
amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, and Filter was there. And
Oh, no shit. I forgot about Filter.
who's the band that does the song Lava? They're like, I don't really know any of the words to Lava, but
They're a newer band, aren't they?
Oh, Ministry.
Okay.
Ministry.
That's not
They're
a newer
older,
band.
I think,
Right,
but
no, they are older.
they were all fantastic. I had the best freaking time. And Renee, who's my boyfriend, who's a concert guy, he's always like, oh, you never want to go to concerts. I'm like, there's people there. They're fucking sweaty and it's $20 a drink and they're watered down unless you know the bartender. And like, the concert thing is just
I mean,
dying
it also
breed,
depends. I mean,
like.
if you can get like good seats and like backstage and stuff like that, it's definitely like, because when I was going to concerts with Opie, those were fun. I mean, we were like down front, and when we weren't down front, we were in the VIP tent, you know, drinking, you know, and it's like, yeah, if you can do like first class, yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
That is-
difference between camping and glamping. Everything's more fun with money.
That is exactly why I'm spoiled. What my mother growing up, she worked for Bob's Pianos and Organs, and they had it in real good with the Miami Herald. So Aerosmith was my first ever love, my first ever band that I was super into. So I would go to Aerosmith when they would come down here every year. And I think the album that was out at the time was like Get a Grip, which was like Crying and Crazy and blah, 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 and all that shit.
You know, at a certain point, their albums all kind of just meld into the same kind of ballady.
I feel like that was the last good one. I mean, like,
Right.
I don't know where Pump fell into that. I don't know if that was before or after, but I do like that album as well. But then anything after that, there's like Just Push Play, and I like that because I like them, but I don't know anything
Aerosmith
else.
always to me was kind of like pre heroin and post heroin, you know,
And yeah, and it still flops
pre
back
rehab and post rehab.
and it flops back and forth because I think a couple of years ago they were on tour and they had to stop like halfway through because Steven Tyler was back on the shit again. So I don't know for sure, but I think I vaguely remember something about that. But with the Herald, I had box seats. These motherfuckers were serving me filet mignon. I was like 12.
Nice.
So, you know, and then they gave me like a whole like gift box of Aerosmith shit and
nice.
shirts.
Holy shit.
We got
Swag.
there. Yeah, I got swag. I didn't get to do the backstage, although maybe that would have been an option. And my mom was like, she's too young. I don't know. But like,
Yeah, what happened to Becca? I don't know. She went backstage with Aerosmith.
Never
We
came
never
back.
saw her again.
12, probably
Yeah.
a wise decision not to let you go backstage.
of course, back then I would be none the wiser. But now I was like, yeah, mama's probably right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, you know, I was super spoiled and it was always in the air conditioning. And, you know, I've been to concerts since, but God, we did a
Yeah,
bunch
once
of
you get
them.
spoiled like
You really
that, it's just not
you really
the same.
set the bar too high too
Yeah,
soon.
yeah, it's true. But yeah, the amphitheater, they have their summer concert series and they have a lot of good acts there. And I'm just like, it's really fucking outsidey there.
Yeah, outside.
It's really outsidey. It's outsidey
that
and
word.
it's so peoply.
It's so
I hate when it's
peoply.
peoply and outsidey and rowdy.
And it's all grassy and the slope, and you could slip and muddy, and
People are drunk and fall in India, and you got to be cool because they're just having a good time, and you're like, man, I feel like a boomer because I want to punch this guy in the face.
Right. And let's not forget bugs.
Oh my
Ants
god.
and mosquitoes. And,
Well, I got to imagine they got to keep the grass pretty decent over there. They can't have ants and all that shit. But what are you going to do about mosquitoes? Not a damn thing. And gnats. And then
I'm
people
trying to
are
remember.
gross.
Gnats, yes.
I'm trying to think of how many times I've fallen asleep in the lawn at that place. I mean, it's got to be at least in the dozens.
It was during his nap time, his broke out day of nap
It's
time.
when you go to those marathon ones, especially, you're going to be there all day. I got to take at least a 15-minute power nap or something.
I don't think I could ever do those like 3-day concerts. And it's a shame because there's so many that have it's always, they split it up where they have like the 3 top acts every night. And I want to see all 3 of them, but I don't want to be here for more than a couple hours.
Yeah, they'll never put them all in the same day because they know
make
what'll
no money.
happen.
Of
Exactly.
course, I mean, I get it, but I'm also like,
You know,
make one of those for the old people that don't want to be out in the sun.
You know, what's funny is the only time I've ever done anything like that was when I was really pretty small child, and my mom would drag me to like back in the 60s. We actually went to some music festival where we literally had to hike up a mountain to go and like hang out with these hippies. And there's some music festival and they're all walking around naked, swimming in a lake. And it was like, it was crazy. It was like 2 or 3 days of this stuff going on. I was like, Jesus.
I don't know. I feel like you throw a lake in there, I'd be a little bit more inclined. I don't know if I want to see a bunch of wieners swinging around, but lake, maybe you could jump in there, cool off, take our nap.
Yeah, no, that was the thing. Everybody was like, we'd just get naked and go in the lake. It was crazy.
Yeah, once they're in the water, you can't see the song
60s.
anymore. So.
That's true.
Yeah, it was like the 60s, there was, naked flower children, whatever, yada, yada. But that's the only time I've ever really done more than like a day of a concert.
Yeah, I couldn't. And the people, they camp out and shit. Like I'm not a camping guy. And I did it when I was a teenager. We would go out to Holy Lands and sleep on gravel. Well, not directly on the gravel, but in a sleeping bag. And now I'm like, no.
So many of these things that we're talking about are all a young man's game.
Yeah.
These are all fine when you're young. The older you get, it's wear and tear. It's just not worth it.
Yeah, because I'm going to lay on the ground for a half an hour and I'm going to pay for it for a whole freaking week. My back's going to be fucked up. I'm going to have to pay to go to the chiropractor. He's going to fuck me up more.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
Yeah, it's not worth it. To see some stars away from the city lights, no thanks. I'll watch them on TV. I'll put on Discovery Channel.
Planetarium.
Yes, even better idea.
Yeah, that Okeechobee music thing is for a couple of days, right? They hold that once a year.
I don't know
kind of a
if
hippie
that's
kind of
still
thing where you
It's like
go
a
and
folk
camp
music,
out.
right?
I'm not sure. I think it's just
Yeah,
kind of
I
like
don't know.
hippie music, like that trancey dance stuff maybe or
Oh,
whatever.
yes.
I don't know.
Yes. I forgot.
I think they have bands too, but it's I think that's
like
a multi-day.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I remember seeing something on Facebook about it and being like, what the fuck is this? And I remember.
They try to have it every year, but I don't think it's ever really taken off. Like it's, just gotten some traction, but.
It's definitely a bunch of chicks with hairy armpits and have not showered.
a lot of patchouli.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
A lot of piercings.
Yeah. Not that we're opposed, but just not my
Right?
scene.
A lot of blonde girls with dreadlocks.
Yeah.
You remember Casey? Casey Cook? Oh, you don't know Casey?
I don't think so.
Oh,
Maybe?
I thought you knew Casey. Anyway, he used to always wear patchouli. I was like, and for a guy, I was like, why do you wear that stuff? It was very, very odd. I thought you knew Casey.
I don't know. Maybe I'd have to see him.
He was in Furious George with.
Oh fuck yeah! I had to have.
I'm trying to think, but you were. I'm probably conflating you with somebody. Like I thought you were maybe in Stereotomy or something for a while, but
No. But I remember Furious George because Ricky was playing guitar, right? I'm so bad with names with everybody, and Ricky had long black hair.
Yeah. What was his last name?
I don't remember.
Yeah, he was good. As
Yeah.
a matter of fact, he had come back. Casey had quit for something. Oh, Casey got in the big band thing with Alex Mincy or whatever. So he'd quit that
feel
band,
like
and
I
we had
showed that
actually,
his son.
yeah, and we had Ricky come back, and he actually did a gig with us, which I thought everybody thought it was great. And after that gig, he's like, "Yeah, I'm not doing this anymore."
What did he end up doing? Because I haven't seen him. I don't see anybody
He's
anymore.
one of those genius freaking like tech guys or something. I mean, he didn't need the money. He's
I was just doing it for like fun.
yeah, he's just genius. He's one of those guys. and he could, dude, he would sing Immigrant Song.
Oh.
Right? Like, what is George here for? If you can sing that, what do we need? I mean, George is great, though. He can't.
Yeah, that is not in every...
But that guy was really talented. Great guitar player, could sing his ass off, but just a weird dude. I tried to get him to do a bunch of different stuff, and he was just like, nah. All right, whatever.
I mean, with me, it just... for one, I'll say this, don't date your bandmates. That's always never a good thing. So that was a downfall for me.
It worked for Fleetwood Mac. Rumors, one hell of an album.
Well, it only worked for that album, though. After the album, though. Yeah,
but she did fine on her own after that for the most part. And she's still touring and shit.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, after that, I was just like, I was so tired of being out all the time. Because, that's just your habit. That's your hours. You're used to being out. You get done at 2 in the morning. God forbid you play at Cheers. You get done at fucking 4 in the morning. Like, and then you're out with the ITB people and you get in the habit of it all the time. And, for when I was doing that, the only thing I was doing otherwise was I was working like part-time, in a restaurant as a hostess and stuff. I would do construction shit on the side when, one of the side companies that I would work for needed extra help and I had the time to do it. But, my day would go to absolute shit. And then even on nights that I wasn't playing a gig, because I was usually Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday playing, I'd still Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I was like, well, what the fuck else do I have to do? I guess I'll go have a drink.
Yeah, right. That was one of the biggest problems with me playing in bars is I didn't even realize it when I was younger because it didn't really matter. I just drank. It was no big deal. But I just can't be in a bar without a drink in my hand. I just feel uncomfortable without something in my hand. I mean, even if it's just like a stupid water or something, but I can't sit in a bar without at least, and I can't even really drink now. So it's like, I'll go to a bar and have like a beer or like we went to Dad last night and I had 3 glasses of wine. I was wasted when I got home. I'm like, Jesus Christ. But yeah, man, it's like, it's something about being in a bar. I can't do it without.
People do it all the time too, and more power to them. But that's also a personal choice for me. Like, there's been times that like something was going on. It was somebody's birthday, and I hadn't been feeling great, and like I was on like an antibiotic or something, and the doctor was like, "Oh, you shouldn't drink," and I'm like, "Haha, bet." But I would like not drink, and I would go out, and I'd just be like, "This fucking sucks." And even back when I smoked weed all the time, it was, still like, I just want a Jack and Coke, please. Can I have a Jack and Coke or like a shot of Jameson?
Did you go to the benefit for Conrad?
I did not.
Yeah, I wanted to go too, but it was just like
I had to work.
I know. I saw the pictures of it and video of like everybody was there. It was like insane.
as is expected. Conrad was pretty dope.
Well, I only say that because that's kind of where. I mean, that's the only place we really kind of played together, right? It was out doing the jam nights out at Cheers West. We've never really. I think we did one gig at that place. I forget. It was kind of outside, but we played inside. It was the place where I found that bag of Coke that one time, remember?
I don't, because that happens a lot more often than you would think.
No, you remember when you and Johnny Brown saw me.
No, I don't
Johnny
remember
O'Brien.
that.
No, it was not Cafe 27. It was a place like that, biker bar.
It had to have been Flossie's then.
Yes, Flossie's. I think that's the name of the place. But yeah, it was so funny.
Who did we play there with? Do you remember?
I think it was me and you and Pyro.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, because you know what? Like
Yeah, I was, and as a matter of fact, Johnny Brown was only, or Johnny O'Brien was only there because he had something else that he was doing, and then he just showed up afterwards. And we were sitting there, and I'm like literally just walking across the bar, across like the dance floor, and I'm like, what the hell? I reached down to pick up a bag of Coke, and she's looking at me, and Johnny O'Brien's like, I'm like, hey, looks like we're having a party, guys.
Common occurrence.
Oh, and the funny part was that Johnny Bryan's like, I know who dropped that.
Was it you?
No, he goes, I saw the guy that dropped. I know exactly who that belongs to. Let's go do it. And I'm like,
in front of him.
Just about. Anyway, let's wrap it up with a good cocaine story. What do you think?
Yeah, that's always a great way to end it.
Yeah.
Well, who knows what the hell it was? I don't know.
Yeah, fair enough. A bag of something.
But anyway, so thanks for coming, Becca. You're great. Do you have anything you have nothing to plug, right? Any kind of upcoming things, right? So what good are you? Why are you here? No, I'm just kidding.
We were breaking up the sausage fest.
There you go. That's right. That's right. Really you are our first female guest. That is absolutely true.
Very good point.
You have broken our hymen.
Yes. That was a life goal. I'm glad I could complete it with you guys.
There you
Very
go.
nice.
Outstanding.
Beautiful. All right, so give them the phone number for the call in.
Guys. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe and leave us some comments. And of course, you can always call us at our Sloth Doctor hotline, so to speak, 904-549-9024.
And keep the rude comments to Becca to a maximum. All right.
Yeah.
See you guys
I
next
love 'em.
time.
Thanks, guys.